My Sunny Vase designs give you options for your cling rubber stamp set, and then the cutting dies are in another package. And you'll see ideas and things on the back of the package. And I just like to point out that we have a stencil in this package whenever you see this up in the corner. So make sure you don't lose it. And I like to store all of the dies on a magnetic sheet. And so let's get started, and I'll show you a couple of ways to make good use out of your stencil. When the stencil is brand new, we've given you both the positive, let's say the window and the window frame pieces, and they're bridged so they aren't lost on the way, but you can simply pull at the point of those little connections. And I also like to mark my stencil right at the beginning when I can still match it up. So for example, if I put this down on top, I can tell I'm going the right way because the leaf matches up. So I'm just going to mark some things, and by writing on this side of the stencil, I won't turn them over and be confused by the fact that they never quite line up. Okay, so that's one way of using my frame part of the stencil. Now I'm going to use the window pane, so to speak, to cover this. So this shows you how we've used both the opening in the stencil and also the positive to mask to stamp across the surface of it. here you can see once you get to doing your color work, I can use the window aspect of my stencil to apply yellow quickly into an open area, and then I can use the other piece to mask off an area and quickly apply colors to the background. So you're going to get a lot of use out of the stencil in doing all different kinds of mix and match combinations. From here, I think it's fun to go back in with color pencils, and of course you can do any combination. And I used Memento inks in case I wanted to do Copic markers, so you have lots of choices. Well, I, for one, would love to live in a little cottage across from a field of sunflowers. I don't know about you, but it seems like that would be a very fun place to live. Here's another storage tip. If instead of opening your package and the seal at the bottom, you simply cut through all the layers up here at the top, you can cut off just a little bit, and then you can put all of your little stencil pieces back inside, and that keeps them together. And then I like to store this inside the stufftainer with not only the stamps but also the dies. And my stamps can simply get pressed onto the outside, and then I can see them from the back. And then here I've got the magnet layer for the dies. So I found with this one it was easier actually to die cut first, and then you can come back in and stamp afterwards. You can see to line it up, and your little message just fits on the tag. So it's easier to go that way than to stamp first and then you can't see where you're going with the die. Here I've stamped and done my color work on white background, and you can do your Copic markers or whatever marker you like the best, or you can also work on other colors of paper, and then your color pencils may be what works out the nicest. And then on these other shades of paper, it's kind of fun to come in with white and do just a little bit of highlights here and there. So you can try any of those different looks. And then when you go to do your die cutting, this sunflower has more of a gap between the petals here. And now that I've spotted that, I can go right to it to line it up and run it through my die cutting. And this other flower is a little bit trickier, so again, find a spot like maybe the two little points up there, and that will help you spot it to line up the fit of it. Here, let's take a look at this. So these two little points kind of stand out to me, and I've spotted them to be right there. So once you kind of spot something with each design, it's easier and you're not just spinning it around trying to get it to line up. But it does line up perfectly, as you can see. And so now let me give you another little tip here about the vase. And here we've stamped with all the pattern on it and colored it a couple different ways. But remember that you can also die cut printed paper or some other little die cut piece, and because the die is on that inside edge, you could move it around and decide exactly what part of the pattern looked the best to create your vase pattern. I think that's going to look quite fun. me show you how you can use these backdrop cards to make some really fun pop-up cards with your sunny vases. And we've got several options. The first one, this is our original pop-up die, and this score line is in the middle. I've marked my card, and I can center it or I can move it to one side or another. Line it up. Cover it and run it through. This is original one is going to give me not only the base but also the hang tabs. Turn it over and begin pushing. Push against that bottom edge and press, and then we'll score here. We'll push all the way up here, and then do a mountain fold from this side. And this gives us a place to attach our vase, and the other little hang tabs will get used to attach more of our sunflowers. So push the tabs up, find the little fold that comes back down. And that'll give us the structure for our flowers to overhang the vase. This die will also make a pop-up card, and this one comes out of the Pop Accessories, and it has just one simple pop-up. And again, I've placed it in the middle, top to bottom, of the length of this inner panel card. So this is cut and scoring where you need to create a simpler pop-up. So press against that bottom edge and pinch. Press here across the middle and pinch. Press and pinch to train each of the folds. And here we have another option to put the little vases and do flowers that are all connected. Or I might want to have a little village in the foreground. So you've got lots of combinations to do with your pop-up cards.